Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
And opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. 580 Live is presented by Thornhill Automotive and is broadcast live from the Parmar Stores studio. The country, the United States of America. The state, West Virginia. The city, Charleston. This is 580 Live. And your host of 580 Live.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
From the Parmar Store studio, it's 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, the voice of Charleston, WCHS, Bigly, Piggly Wiggly Hotline, 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. 580 Live. Brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group. Summertime is here. It's time to find new roads to the Thornhill Motor Mile during their Red, White, and Vroom celebration. Celebrate with an all-new Chevy Silverado. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on US 119 in Chapmanville. And we do the show from the Parmar Store studio. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Parmar invites you to Wally and Wimpy's night this coming Thursday. Starts at 6 o'clock at Buffalo Wild Wings and Cross Lane. Special guests will be the guys from the Touchdown City Show, talking about Mountaineer sports, plus your chance to win Dirty Birds tickets as well as other great prizes, too. For more, visit Wally and Wimpy's on Facebook and Twitter. And remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Coming up on the show a little bit later on, Tristan Levitt, who is a candidate for House of Delegates. He is going to be joining us via the Bigly Piggly Wiggly hotline. He's on the road, actually. He's going to join us to talk about some of his plans for his campaign. Plus, all the rage around the world seems to be pickleball these days. This big pickleball league went on in Charleston. They're expecting several hundred people to come to the area to play pickleball. And this big tournament, Johnny Rutherford's one of the guys who's been a big part of that. He's going to join us to talk about that a little bit later on. Plus, got to get into this story from Charleston City Council last night as well, where one of the council people was asking for an investigation into the Charleston Police Department. Now, we're going to talk about that coming up a little bit later on. Plus, your calls and text are welcome, too. Bigly Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text, 304-935-500. And bring him a man, Ric Cavender. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Dave. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's time for Phone with the Dome.
It is.
And it was I guess, postponed for a little while.
It was supposed to be May 13th, and we, due to really severe weather forecasts, we made the decision to move it to July 22nd. So that's this Saturday.
Yeah. Tell us about it for people that aren't familiar with it, because you hear the title Phone with the Dome and somebody may be listening saying, well, I don't like beer, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
I find those people reprehensible. No, I'm kidding. But it's a whole lot more than just a beer fest. There's a whole lot more to it than that. Talk about it.
Well, it's funny you say that, because when we first started the event in 2016, people would say, is this a foam party? Are you doing a foam party?
Well,
I was like, no, it's not.
It
it's not
turn
1998, but
no, it's not.
No. It's actually we started the Capital Region's first ever craft beer festival back in 2016, Fun with the Dome, and every year it's grown. It's grown. It started out at Lately Field, and it's grown, and now it's so big that we now have it on the Canal Boulevard, right in front of the state capitol, in front of the dome. This event historically, we have over 200 beers on tap. Craft beers, even more domestic beers. If you're into the more simple domestic beers, we have those as well. Ciders, seltzers. The list is pretty vast. That's one of the main highlights, is because the craft beer industry has exploded so much.
It's incredible.
It's a great show off of all the all the West Virginia beers for sure. I think every West Virginia brewery is represented, but also breweries from around the country. We have a lot of great food vendors. I think we have 8 or 9 food vendors signed up. We have Charlie Black is going to be our DJ this year on the City National Bank stage. Last and certainly not least, we have to make sure to thank Old Colony Realtors. They are the title sponsor of Fun with the Dome. They have now been. This is their second year as the title, actually technically third year as a title sponsor of Fun with the Dome. Again, the event gets bigger every year. Tickets are on sale at foamcwv.com. Right now, ahead of the event, they are $45 for general admission, $55 for early entry. Of course, the event starts at 3 p.m. for early entry. For general admission, it starts at 4 p.m. The event goes till 7 p.m. for everyone. If you decide to wait and purchase your tickets at the door, they do go up $5. So they would be, of course, $50 and $60 at the door. We also have a designated driver ticket. So if you're coming and you want to just hang out with your friends and you are the designated driver for the evening, we obviously encourage that. Tickets are only $20 for a designated driver. So a lot of different options there. Historically, we have depending on the weather, depending on the year, between 1,800 and 2,300 people that have attended this event. They have come from 16 different states. So we're talking a lot of heads and beds and hotels of people that aren't even from the region, which is great.
And that's what all this stuff boils down to. It's great to have a good time and all this. Again, we're talking with Ric Cavender from Charleston Main Streets. It's great to have a good time. But it's all about the economy, man. It's all about, as you said, I'm a capitalist. It's all about putting the heads in beds, and that's what events like this do for not only Charleston but the surrounding areas.
Yeah, I mean, we're an urban economic business development organization, so our goal and our mission is to enrich the local business community, to encourage people to not only shop local but to live local, be as local as you possibly can, because as we all know, the local economy is what drives our communities and what makes our communities what they are, right? It's how we keep from being, quote unquote, anywhere USA. Right. So we're fulfilling our mission for several purposes whenever we put on Fun with the Dome. That's one of them. Also, it's a fundraiser for our organization. All the money that is raised through this through Fun with the Dome, as well as our other major fundraisers, go right back into the urban community here in Charleston, West Virginia, specifically the West Side and the East End, helping us fulfill our mission to recruit new business to the area, fill up vacant buildings, public art projects, aesthetic enhancement projects. The list goes on. So this is obviously important for several reasons.
How are things going in that department? Let's talk about what you do, other than just playing the Fun with the Dome. I mean, how are things going in getting businesses to come to the area? These small, you hate to use the term mom and pop because it's so cliche, but it is a lot of times what it is. How's that expansion going for Charleston?
We've seen ebbs and flows. I mean, it was interesting. While the rest of the country was really, most of the rest of the country was really impacted by COVID. Small business was really impacted by COVID. We saw a lot of businesses close. At the time, we didn't see a lot of businesses in Charleston, especially in downtown West Side, East End, close. Matter of fact, we saw some open. We're seeing some of that residual now, 2-3 years out from COVID. We've seen a couple businesses close. We have a couple vacant buildings, but we're seeing some buildings that have been vacant for a long time. We're seeing leases getting signed. We're seeing new business, whether it's offices, whether it's pubs, restaurants, boutiques. We're seeing those slowly fill back up again. So hopefully that trend was very short for us. And now we're back on the upswing. That is our hope, and I think that's what we're seeing. But as far as our projects go, I mean, outside of just business development, and we've talked about this on air a few times, but public space enhancement is a really big part of our mission as well, because if the public space isn't where it should be, then it's not going to be welcoming for people to come into and shop and eat. And hopefully live, right? So our West Side Gateway Lighting Initiative, we've talked about that a couple times. We're right in the middle of the execution of that particular initiative. We announced it last August. We're currently in the engineering phase right now. We hope to start the construction phase here in the next couple months. We're going to be replacing all of the lampposts in the Gateway District, the Elk City District of the West Side.
That's been a problem. I think, not to interrupt you, Rick, but that's been a problem, I think, for some times, because there's been stories reported in the news on our station and other outlets that things happen in not so well lit areas.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, this project, number one is safety. Number two is aesthetic enhancement. Safety is 100%, or safety is the number one concern. We're going to take it from more of an orange tungsten lighting that is not very welcoming and inviting at nighttime to a brighter LED lighting shining on the street. But also, what makes this project very unique for the region is that the lighting will also be shining up onto the facades of most of the buildings there. And the colors can be changed. It can be changed, depending on the time of year, whether it's a holiday. This is going to sort of a first of its kind for Charleston, and it will definitely help brand the area more, but also make it a lot safer. So that's an example of a project that we've undertaken over the last few years now. Actually, we raised over $500,000 for that project, and now we're in the execution phase. So that's really exciting. Most of the murals that you see on the buildings on the east end and the west side, a good example is the Dreamer, the guy that's sitting on the bench when you're going into Elk City, the huge mural there. That was a project of ours. Those are the types of projects that we undertake to make Charleston stand out from other cities, to make them feel like a destination and be a destination. And so those are just examples of the projects that we execute as an organization. And again, these events like Foam at the Dome help us raise the money we need to operate to execute those projects. We have a small staff. We have an incredibly dedicated group of volunteers and board members that help us execute our projects every year. But we're a smaller organization, but we're really proud of the work that we do.
It's amazing to me, getting back to the beer aspect of it, it is amazing to me the popularity of craft beers and these breweries over the last couple of years, not only in West Virginia, but elsewhere. And people. I was in Morgantown, for a couple of days at the end of last week, and when people walk into an establishment, if they're not going into an actual brewery, they're going into the local pub or the hotel bar or whatever. That's the first thing they're asking. They're not necessarily these days saying, give me a Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, whatever. They're saying, what do you have local? I mean, and this is such a, I don't know, it just kind of exploded overnight a few years ago.
Well, I mean, you may recall, I'm sure you pay attention to politics as close as I do. I mean, you may recall back in 2015, Dave, when and I was actually active in this particular bill, when the bill that was passed to expand, not only to allow for growlers to be filled in several other types of establishments that allowed for new revenue streams for local business, but it was also to encourage the expansion of the craft brew industry. After that bill was passed in 2015, that was a very bipartisan effort. That was like across the board, everyone was behind this. After that bill passed, we saw, I think at the time there were like 9 craft breweries in West Virginia, and I think the number's in the 30s or 40s or 50s now. I can't remember the exact number, but I mean, of course, that was 8 years ago, but that really helped at least propel that industry and that concept. And now I think, to your point, what you're getting at is that this not only is it a culture of its own, but it's also an economy. Yes. I mean, we're talking about people travel for hundreds of miles just to try new breweries because it is an experience. And
show me the money, man.
We're concentrating that right here in Charleston in front of the Dome this Saturday.
All right, and let's kind of wrap it up here. Foam at the Dome. Talk about where to get tickets.
Go to foamcwv.com. You can purchase and download your ticket right there and scan it at the door. You do save $5 if you.
Now, where is the door? You said the door. Where is the door?
I should say the gate.
I know you don't mean literally a door, but where actually? No, physically, where is the gate?
That's a great question. Yeah. Our gate, the gate for entry is near Greenbrier Street.
Okay.
So we're only going to have one entrance this year. Last year we had 2. We had one at California, one at Greenbrier. Greenbrier was much more trafficked, so we made the decision to.
Well, and when you're dealing with volunteers too, it's kind of hard to have everybody spread out everywhere like that.
That's
too.
Right. We have wonderful volunteers. Over 200 volunteers are going to be helping us at this event, and we couldn't do it without them. And we're trying to make it a little easier on them this year. So, if you tons of parking is available at the Capitol in the garage there, but also all throughout the streets, throughout the East End, and it's a short walk over to the Greenbrier Street entrance, about right around the Governor's Mansion. Actually, is where on the Canal Boulevard is where you'll see the gate.
Okay, good stuff. We wish you the best of luck with everything. We'll have to have you on again because this, I'm kind of a geek about this stuff. Not beer necessarily, but that too. But the economic aspect of it, of what these things. I'll have you on again to talk about that. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Ric
Thank you so much.
Go and starting time is
3 p.m. for early entry, folks, and 4 p.m. for general admission.
All right, we'll see you there. It's 9:21. Rick, thanks a lot. 580 Live is presented in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Pinnacle Consultants can inspect your site, collect samples, perform lab analysis, and provide results within a week. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Take a break. We're back right after this from the Parmar Store Studio. It's 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group with the voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
New roads to the Thornhill Motor Mile. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to the Red, White, and Room celebration. And what better way to celebrate than with a Chevrolet Silverado? Get ready to experience the thrill of adventure with unbeatable deals on new Chevrolet Silverado. Save big with Georgia's Star Spangled Manager's discount up to $5,500 off, $1,500 RST package, and $7,500 off lifted custom packages. Click or come by at ThornhillGMSportStore.com or US 119 in Chapmanville. Red, White, and Vroom. The celebration is on the road to total savings. Qualify for all for GM Financial. See Thornhill for all details.
Thrive with 5 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Poca Valley Bank. Poca Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 5%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by a Poca Valley Bank location today or call 844-782-2651. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Poca Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Is your current financial advisor really listening to you, or just waiting on his turn to talk? Hi, I'm Travis Willard, your Hurricane Edward Jones financial advisor, and I'm here, ready to listen. I want to know what's important to you. I want to learn about your goals so that together we can put you on the financial path that's right for you. Call me at 304-397-5553 or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Attention employers, do you have an IT workforce shortage? Bridge Valley Community and Technical College has your answer. Bridge Valley uses the Apprenticeships in Motion Grant, or AIM for short, to provide IT training to upskill current staff. These trainings are free or almost free to you. We also have a talented pipeline of IT degree students looking for on-the-job training opportunities, and your company may be eligible for up to 50% wage reimbursements when you take on an apprentice. Visit bridgevalley.edu/AIM to learn more.
923, 580 Live, presented part by Travis Willard, your Edward Jones financial advisor, just off the Taze Valley exit. Learn how Travis and the team can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com or call Travis today, 304-397-5553, 304-397-5553 for your Edward Jones financial advisor, Travis Willard, Edward Jones, member SIPC. Ryan Nicholson is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text, 304-935-5008. Text says, are we going to discuss the Charleston PD situation that came up at the city council meeting? Yes, as I said at the top of the show, I am. A little bit later on in the show. It there was some discussion at the Charleston City Council meeting about that. We've got stories posted on all the websites and things of that nature. So, yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. I want to talk with our good friend Johnny Rutherford. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. We're bringing a whole lot of people into the Kanawha Valley this weekend. I just had Ric Cavender on talking about Foam at the Dome. A couple thousand people expected to turn out for that. But not to be outdone, you got people. He said he had people coming in, I think, from 16 different states, or what had been in the past for Foam at the Dome. You going to try to top 16 states?
Well, we can't get there, but it's our first year of the tournament, and it's going to be the largest pickleball tournament ever in the state of West Virginia. We have people coming in from 6 different states.
Okay, and is it mainly border states? Because it can't be all border, because there's got to be one, because we don't have that many border states.
We've got one from Florida, we got one from Oklahoma, and we have a couple from Missouri. So
okay,
it's been advertised nationally, and people are coming in because they're excited about the Nitro complex, the brand new complex, and they're excited about pickleball. So they're coming from everywhere.
I mean, Nitro is going to be an exciting place. As a matter of fact, Joe Stevens from the city is going to join us on the show tomorrow. Next Monday, my weekly Mayor Monday segment is going to be Mayor Casebolt. There's a lot of stuff going on in Nitro.
They're great to work with. They've got a great facility. They've done a good job with it. The mayor's great personality, and we've been a good team along with the staff. So it's been exciting.
So what all we got going on? Because it all starts, I guess, Friday night, right?
It starts Friday night. We've done a good job. The Charleston Pickleball Club with Todd Fowl and Matt Duncan have helped me a great deal. And what we have is Friday night from 5 to 8 is community night. And there'll be free swimming, free splash park. We'll have music there. A gentleman named Scott Honecker, he used to be in Nashville singing. He's a local guy. I actually know. I worked at an event not long ago with Scott. He played at the West Virginia Food Truck Festival. Yeah.
What a great talent he is, man. Scott's awesome.
He's wanting to help us. I mean, of course, we've hired him, but he's wanting to help us because it's a local event. There'll be pickleball for the people that are in the tournament to get warmed up. There'll be free pickleball lessons for those who have never played pickleball. We'll walk them through, show them the rules, and show them how to play. We're very excited about that. We'll have food trucks. Dem Two Brothers will be there. Chick-fil-A will be there. We'll have the Charleston Safety Firehouse there. We'll have Kona Ice there. Then Metro 911 will be teaching the kids at the pool and the parents how to call 911 and when to call 911.
That's kind of an important thing when you think about it, because, I mean, that's something I really hadn't thought about, is how and when to call 911.
Right.
And I know that's kind of your field outside pickleball. That's your other field of expertise. Right. is the whole 911 thing. I think that's very important that you educate kids on that.
And that I'm glad you said that. This is sponsored by Metro 911.
Yeah.
And our tournament's called Serving for Safety, because our employees serve for safety to all the law enforcement, EMS and fire, and our citizens every day. So that's what a tournament's about, and that's what we want to do, is educate a lot of the children on community night on what to do when there's an emergency in their house if their parents aren't available.
Yeah, we're talking with Johnny Rutherford again about this big pickleball event. Now, a lot of these events are going on Friday, but Saturday you get people coming in from, as you said, all over as far away as Missouri to take part in this tournament.
Oklahoma, Missouri, Florida, and we have 232 players, which is probably 50 to 60 players more than any tournament ever in the state of West Virginia. We'll be there all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We start at 8 a.m. on Saturday and probably go to 5 or 6 in the evening, then 8 a.m. on Sunday and go to 5 to 6 in the evening. People are welcome to come watch. The mayor has agreed to let people watch without a cost to get in. Of course, the pool, if you come on Saturday, Sunday, will cost something. Friday night's free. But bring your lawn chair, bring your chair. Come sit beside the courts and watch some great pickleball players.
Now, explain, and you've been on the show several times talking about this, but in case people may have missed it, explain the whole game of pickleball to us, John.
Pickleball is a cross between tennis and table tennis. It's on a smaller court. It's played with a plastic ball. It's a quick moving sport. The great thing about the sport, it doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter your size, because the way the court's laid out and the rules, that you could be I've played with young ladies that are 66 and 5'2" and 110 pounds, and I'm 6'2", 230, and they beat me. And it's an amazing game. It's just a great game, and that's what's so great about it. It's very competitive, no matter your gender or size.
And it just like suddenly popped up over the last couple of years, because I had never heard of it, and then one of my friends or something, or maybe I saw on social media, was talking about playing in this pickleball tournament. I was like, what the heck is pickleball? And it just kind of, I know it's been around for a while. Do you have any idea what the history of the game is, or where it came from, and how the heck it became so popular all of a sudden?
Personally, I don't. The Charleston Pickleball Clubs are more into that. I found it 5 years ago. I was down in North Carolina on vacation, and some friends asked me to play, and I played, and I came home and really didn't have anybody to play with. And then I ran into the Charleston Pickleball Club, and they have a WhatsApp app, and we meet in South Charleston at Jackson Park and at Nitro. And we have on Tuesday and Thursday evenings, we have 50, 60 people playing every night. It's amazing.
Well, anything that gets people out of the house and put down devices, especially younger people, not to stereotype, but to get them out of the house, get them to do something, I think is always a positive thing.
Yeah, you had a good point there too about the younger people, because I said myself, I'm 66 now, which is a good sport for somebody my age. But most of the people that play are 30-year-old professionals. There's bankers, there's lawyers, there's architects, and it's an amazing social event. And that's what's great about it. Whether you've been playing for 10 years and you're really good, or you're new, it's a social event, and they bring you in and teach you, and they want you to be part of it. That's part of pickleball, is the social atmosphere. They move that forward.
It's kind of interesting. This is kind of a side note here. One of my good friends from high school. I keep up with him on social media. I haven't seen him I don't think since we graduated high school, but we keep up on Facebook. And he just placed and actually won his division in a nationally recognized pickleball tournament in Arkansas. And he's my age, and he's already turned 53. So again, he's still out there doing it. 53 is not old, neither is 66, by the way.
Yeah.
But this thing is huge, and you can do it regardless of your age.
Yeah, right. I've kind of stayed out of playing it this weekend, but we needed to play.
You just didn't want to dominate. That's
exactly.
what it was, right?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but exactly. Yeah. But I stayed out of playing, but we actually had an individual sign up that didn't have a partner. So I'm going to go ahead and play with him. He's in his mid-70s. He's from Pittsburgh. And he's driving out here to play. So I'm going to play with him this weekend.
That's amazing stuff. How long does an average pickleball do you refer to it as a game or a match, or either?
Match game. It depends on their skill level, but it takes probably about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes for a game. And during the tournament, each person will play 4 to 6 games. So you get to play quite a few games and everything. Depending on if you keep winning, the more games you play. And it's by skill set. They have beginners, then we have people that are advanced. Then it's also by age. It's all divided up to try to make it fair during the tournaments.
And it's becoming like tennis or like golf as far as the equipment, and I noticed this, as I said, I keep up with my friend who lives in Arkansas who just won a big, nationally recognized tournament out there. And he's always posting things like golfers would on his Facebook page. This is my new XJ7 paddle or whatever, I mean, that's a big business as well.
Yeah, you can go to Dick's or to one of the local sports people and pick up a racket for $12 to $25. Once you get serious and if you play and you really you get into it, the paddles cost anywhere from $150 to $333. So it gets expensive. The balls are inexpensive, but the paddles can get expensive.
Do you have a hard time? I mean, again, I'm trying to picture this. Do you like with tennis balls or golf balls where they just go flying all over the place and you lose a few?
No, if you have to picture,
if you're good, I guess not.
Yeah, right. No, they don't, because you picture when you were young and you were playing wiffle ball, a ball with holes all the way around it. That's what it is. So the distance, the speed of the game is very quick because it's close. You're close to each other. But the distance and the balls, you really don't have a problem with that. You might have to be not being very skilled and knocking it right and left, but the balls stay pretty much within a certain area.
When you started playing, how long did it take you to get pretty good at it?
Well, I thought I was pretty good in 6 months. I was playing with just some close friends.
Yeah.
And then when I got with the Charleston Pickleball Club, the skill level went up. And I'm what you call probably a 3.0 to 3.5. I'm an average player. And I've been playing for about 2 years now, a couple nights a week.
Because I was talking to another friend of mine who just happened to pick up the game of golf. And this is a guy who was a high school athlete and everything. And in his 40s, he decided to pick up the game of golf. And he was telling me last week, he said, this is the most frustrating game I've ever seen in my entire life. He said, because I was able to master baseball as a young man, baseball, football, basketball. He said, golf kicks my butt on a daily or, however often he plays on a regular basis. Yeah. It's just the nature of sports, I guess. 580 Live is brought to you part by Generations Physical Therapy, 7 convenient locations along I-64. They're hiring now for both licensed and technically trained staff. For more information, visit generationspt.com. John, whenever I talk about these events, and I did this with Rick too, I always like to talk about the economic impact. And I know it's the first time that you've had an event like this, but there'll be people studying this and coming back and saying, okay, what can we do differently next year or whatever. But when you've got people coming in, as you said, from as far away as Oklahoma and Missouri, that's kind of the theme of the day, going back to what Cavender said, that's going to put heads in beds, and that's going to put people in restaurants and things of that nature.
Yeah, we're excited. Like I say, we had a good team between the Nitro and the Pickleball Club, and we actually we decided early on to go national with this through pickleballbrackets.com, and pretty much that company pushes your tournament out and it advertises it nationwide. And like I say, we have six players coming in from out of state, but their families are coming also.
Sure, yeah.
And they're staying at the local
and they're not going to play the entire time. They're not going to play. They're not going to do their match and leave.
We have a few, we have a few people coming in their motorhomes.
Yeah.
And they're going to stay at a local area. So they're going to have that. Then we have the local motels giving discounts. And just because we say 6 states, but we have a lot of people come from Morgantown and the northern part of the state, and they can't drive.
They're people too.
They will, they're people also. They're players also, but they will stay local also because there's quite
a long drive.
Yeah, Bridgeport's a big area for pickleball. Bridgeport and Morgantown. So a lot of them people are coming down to play Saturday and Sunday. So they'll be staying in the local hotels too.
That's what we like to hear. Okay, recap it for us again. What's happening Friday night and into Saturday, John. Okay, and Sunday.
Yeah, Friday 5 to 8. It's free. City of Nitro. We have food vendors there to purchase food. Free swimming. Free splash park. Free music. Free pickleball lessons. And one big thing, we still have openings for the pickle eating contest. And we have
Ryan, you listen to this, man? Pickle, that's my producer, Ryan. He's all about that.
Okay. We have Mount Olive Pickle in North Carolina. We've worked with them. They've sent us product. And we're going to, in 5 minutes, whoever eats most pickles wins $100 cash.
Wow.
Plus a trophy. And then, of course, all day Saturday and Sunday is the tournament. We invite you to come out if you have an interest in pickleball. If you just have an interest in community events, come out and watch it. You'll love it.
All right. John, we wish you the best of luck, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Good luck with everything. I know this has been a big undertaking of yours. You've been on several times to talk about it. We wish you the best. The weather looks great this weekend. It's been pure crap, the last couple of days and with storms and whatnot. But they say that by this weekend, things start to look up. And again, if you've got an interest in this, even if you don't want to play, just go down and watch and just kind of check it out and say, okay, this may be for me and my family.
Yeah, and Dave, we want to thank you and your station and your program here for helping us make this a success.
All right, well, best of luck to you, John. We'll talk soon. We'll see you this weekend, man. Thanks a lot. John Rutherford, 24 minutes away from 10, 580 Live, presented in part by Meeks Realty Group. Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. Visit them online, meeks.us, or call 304-440-1101. We'll take a break. Tristan Levitt, candidate for House to District 53, is up next from the Parmar Store Studio. It's 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
Chevy Summer Drive is here, and it's time to find new roads to the Thornhill Motor Mile. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to the Red, White, and Room celebration, and what better way to celebrate them with a Chevrolet Silverado. Get ready to experience the thrill of adventure with unbeatable deals on new Chevrolet Silverado. Save big with Georgia's Star Spangled Manager's discount up to $5,500 off, $1,500 RST package, and $7,500 off lifted custom packages. Click or come by at ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or US 119 in Chapmanville. Red, White, and Vroom. The celebration is on the road to total savings. Apply for all for GM Financial. See Thornhill for all details.
Elevators. You take them for granted until they let you down. If you're working to maintain a stellar reputation, then let me introduce you to DC Elevator. We want to work with you to make sure your people get where they are going. What could be better than a new company coming to the area and already having 45 years of experience? DC Elevator is bringing a new culture of elevator maintenance, repairs, modernization, and installation to West Virginia. Don't leave your people hanging. For a free consultation, call DC Elevator at 304-345-7222.
Did you know China starts teaching financial literacy in preschool? American kids are getting left behind, but we can't help at home thanks to The Sensibles, a team of animated superheroes who help kids develop smart money habits in a fun way. Each month, they get a kit in the mail with a DVD, a comic book, access to an interactive website, fun activities, and lots more. Visit bcs-kids.com today and enter promo code CENT for 20% off. Digital subscriptions also available. The Sensibles. It's the sensible thing to do.
It is 21 minutes away from 10. 580 Live, presented in part by Valley Outdoors, where their anniversary is being celebrated July 27th through the 29th with an at-dealer cost sale featuring daily giveaways. And on that Saturday, the 29th, you can enjoy free food, micro wrestling, and more. For a complete schedule of events, visit valleyoutdoorswv.com or check them out on Facebook. Valley Outdoors, just off exit 39 in Tays Valley. And the proprietor of that business, Glenn Yeager, who's quite the colorful guy. You may have seen his television commercials. You've heard his radio commercials here. Uncle G, as he calls himself. Glenn's going to be on the show this coming Thursday. Can't wait for that. And he's actually been on the show in the past. But it was a couple years ago, I guess. And so he's going to be on the show Thursday. I got some interesting characters that are on this here radio program from time to time, but there's nobody quite like Glenn. Glenn's going to be on the show coming up on Thursday. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Tex says this seems to be a big week, not just for the Kanawha Valley, but for West Virginia as a whole. Yesterday was day one of the World Association of Marching Show Bands 2023 World Championships in Buchanan. Lee Greenwood performs tomorrow for the opening ceremony, says the texter. Only other time the U.S. hosted this was in 2017 in Florida, and their local business saw a $1 million boom in their economy then. So for West Virginia to get this is huge. Make sure to see the parade there on Saturday. That is all in Buchanan, which is a town that I have grown. I've not really spent a lot of time in Buchanan until here in the last 6 months or so, and it's a great, great town. And the mayor up there is fantastic, great guy. So, if you get a chance, go up there and check it out. Text says, breaking news, Dave had friends in high school. Yeah, actually I did. one or two at least. I got a text. He just left the show. I got a text from John Rutherford that said he wanted to throw this out there. If you want to be part of the pickle eating contest, you can call this number, 304-746-7911. So as part of this pickleball tournament, they are going to have a pickle eating contest. And if you want to be a part of it, they're signing people up. There's still slots available to enter the pickle eating contest. 304-746-7911. It's 304-746-7911. 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Birds begin a 3-game homestand against York tonight, 6:35 at Gomar Ballpark. They were scheduled to play the Savannah Bananas last night down in Savannah. That game was postponed because of the weather down there. Everybody's suffering through bad weather, it seems, right now. So tonight at the ballpark is half-price beer night plus buy one, get one free hot dogs. It's another Truly Tuesday. And baseball bingo sponsored by AARP. For tickets, promotion schedules, and Dirty Birds gear, you can visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Big League Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Awaiting Tristan Levitt, who is a Republican candidate for House in District 53. Ryan, do we have Tristan yet? We do not have Tristan yet. All right, we are waiting on Tristan Levitt to call us up here. I know he's going to be on the show because he actually tweeted about it. I saw a tweet that he said he'd be on the show, but I've not heard from him yet. So hopefully we'll get him scheduled here. We'll get him on the line here momentarily. News from the Charleston City Council meeting last night. Council member Shannon Snodgrass is calling for an independent investigation into alleged sexual misconduct as it concerns Charleston Police Chief Tyke Hunt. Now, the story is posted at WCHSnetwork.com. Councilperson Snodgrass is alleging that the majority of city council members were aware of the allegations. Supposedly, there were messages sent via a city-issued cell phone or some sort of a device. Shannon Snodgrass says that the woman who made the allegations had made complaints to the mayor, other members of city police, the other members of the department, and the city's attorney. The city attorney confirmed last night in a statement to WCHS Network that a complaint was made and had been investigated. The statement, which is part of the story, is posted, if you'd like to see it, at WCHSnetwork.com. And it says, quote, I, meaning the city's attorney's office, can assure you that all the complaints received by the city, including this one, are seriously investigated. Again, this is the city attorney talking. The city's HR department investigates complaints against city employees, makes recommendations, and implements discipline. It is city policy not to comment on specific HR matters, resource matters, which translated means HR. Again, the story is posted with statements from the city attorney at WCHSnetwork.com if you'd like to read that. Now, again, it's important to note that these are merely allegations at this point. They're allegations at this point. So we are okay. Ryan, I don't know what's going on. A person says that they are trying the number and it's not happening. Are we having phone issues in there or what? So we're working. Tristan Levitt is trying to get a hold of us here, but he's just sending me text messages that says he's trying to get through and it's not working. So I don't know exactly what the issue is with the phone. We are working. We are efforting. You may want to see if you can get Coop or somebody down here to see what the problem is. But he's trying. Is Tristan Levitt, who's a candidate for House. He was traveling this morning, from what I understand, and up in the northern part of the state, traveling on business, and he was going to call us up to talk about his candidacy. And he says he is trying, but it is not going through. So, all right. So that's the story going back to the city council situation last night. Again, Shannon Snodgrass, city council person, is asking for an independent investigation. The city has released that statement, and again, you can see it posted at WCHSnetwork.com. Well, we're still trying to get Tristan for some reason, but we don't have Tristan, so let's go to Jerry. You're up on 580 Live. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Dave. I knew Tyke when he was a Tyke. Okay. I worked with his father on the fire department for many years. And, I really don't have an opinion on what's going on right now. But that's not why I called.
Okay, go ahead.
If you don't mind, I want to go off topic for just a second.
Well, I really don't have a topic right now, so go ahead.
Okay. So when I heard your guest talking about craft beers and all that, that kind of thing, it reminded me, my family had what they called beer joints back in the day. Mm-hmm. Did you know that there was a state law that you could not light up a commercial beer sign like Budweiser or Stroh's back in the day? I used to collect beer signs, and if it was a really great beer sign, all lit up, beautiful, they had to take the lights out as soon as they crossed the border of West Virginia, because the law said you could not have a Budweiser sign or any other commercial sign lit up. So you would see, like in my uncle's place, a little sign in the window that was lit up, and it said cold beer. You were allowed to have a sign that said cold beer, but it could not be a commercial sign. And I thought that was one of the dumbest laws I'd ever heard of in my life.
Jerry,
Now,
you may have given me an idea for a future segment because we've had this sort of thing before, the dumb advertising laws in the past, things that I've seen in my career in radio. But go ahead.
Well, what I'm curious about, did we finally get rid of that law? I mean, I don't go into bars. I've never had a beer in my life. But are you allowed to have a lit-up Budweiser sign now?
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Well, I mean, there's far too many of them out there for it not to be legal, I would think.
Well, I mean, think about the 50s and 60s. You could say the same thing,
that's
but
true.
it was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, just a dumb law, and I was just curious if anybody knew if that law, was finally thrown out.
All right, we'll look into it, Jerry. I got to go.
All right,
I appreciate it. Thanks. 13
Bye.
minutes away from 10. I think we have Tristan Levitt. Ryan, do we have Tristan on the show? Tristan, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm well. So sorry about I wasn't able to get through before.
Okay, well, it's the thousands of people that call the show. That's what it is. Well, we're going to blame it on that. How's that?
Great.
All right. Tristan Levitt is a Republican candidate for House in District 53. First of all, sir, explain what is District 53? What area are we talking about?
Sure. So it runs from just north, the very north tip of Edgewood, up over Mink Shoals, and then kind of runs down underneath Coonskin Park. Goes along Oak Ridge and really all this area just north of the river from the Capitol. So all the way out to Bell, includes Campbell's Creek. So just that kind of wide stretch north of the river, north of the Capitol.
Okay, so why are you running for office?
So my wife is an original native of Charleston, and she went to Capitol High School here in our area. And we have 5 kids here in this area, and it just seems like this is a very exciting but crucial time for West Virginia to be able to tackle some of these key issues like education, like the structure of the state government, some of the challenges with PEIA or staffing shortages. There's a lot of really important issues, and my background as a lawyer and working on a lot of other policy issues, I think will help me to attack some of those issues and try and contribute to the progress that, again, is really exciting for West Virginia right now, that we're really on the cusp of, but that really needs some serious, thoughtful policy consideration.
What, the Republicans have the supermajority, as you well know, in West Virginia, and there's been, I spend my time talking about the pros and cons, not myself necessarily, but the listeners and the texters and whatever callers, about the pros and the cons of that. What do you attribute, being a Republican yourself, what do you contribute the rise in the popularity of the Republican Party in West Virginia to?
It's an interesting question. I mean, obviously, having had Democratic control for so long in this state, I think that's one element of it, is that you frequently see voters turn from one side to the other. Those like coal workers and others, industries that have been well set in place for so long in West Virginia have really been attacked here in our state. And so I think that's put a lot of voters up for grabs. A lot of cultural issues have really become, that before weren't the province of one party or the other, but, someone who is pro-life, who's pro-gun right now, might not feel at home in one of the two parties. And so I think that's had a big impact on the shift.
Tristan, again, we're talking with Tristan Levitt, who's a campaign for House in District 53, a candidate, I should say. Your campaign released some information over the weekend, and to put it quite frankly, sir, you aren't doing too badly in the fundraising department, and which is not bad since you didn't even start, raising money, there for some time. I think you made your official candidacy announcement in April. Apparently, your message is resonating with people pretty relatively early on. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think people recognize that, again, experience is really critical when it comes to governance, right? It's useful to be able to study out issues. It's useful to be able to dig deep. Another piece that is really important to me is that I focus a lot on transparency. I focus a lot on the importance of oversight in government. And I think everybody can relate to that, no matter what part of the political spectrum you're on. We all know that we don't want to see waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. We all know that when good people come forward to point out problems, we should listen to those folks. And so I think those are all issues that have resonated for people, and I've been very grateful for their support.
And I want to talk about that, kind of transition away from the campaign. We'll get back to it here in a couple of moments. Again, we're talking with Tristan Levitt, who's a candidate for House in District 53. You've been making the rounds here a whole lot. I know you're on the road today talking about whistleblowing. Explain that aspect of your life and your career.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I finished law school, I got hired by Senator Chuck Grassley on the Senate Judiciary Committee in Washington, D.C. And my very first, within a week, I was working with a guy named John Dodson. He was an ATF agent, and he was blowing the whistle on something called Operation Fast and Furious. And that really, again, fortuitously set off this very long path where I've just worked with hundreds and hundreds of whistleblowers, first on Capitol Hill, where I worked for 8 years, and then into leading two agencies during the Trump administration. And so I just have become a very, very firm believer that, you have to be able to protect people who come forward to point out waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. And that's not always a popular issue. One party, depending on which party is in power or which party has the White House, people tend to like it sometimes and not like it other times. But I just think across the board, it's so important to have those protections. And so we're working with some high-profile whistleblowers right now. But again, even in those cases, it's come down to this thing where people disregard information that they don't like or cheer on information that they do like, even if they're not really familiar with the details. And I think that's a real problem for just even across the board oversight and transparent governance in this country.
Do you think that, let's take it back to the state capitol for a moment, do you think that West Virginia as a whole, I know that's a blanket statement, Tristan, but do you think that West Virginia state government as a whole needs to do a better job of transparency?
I think every state government can do a better job of transparency. I think that's just a key issue. I think some really great things that have happened in the past few years. I'm really impressed with Checkbook West Virginia, with what the auditor's office has done there. I think there are a number of areas where there is a lot of transparency, and those are great steps. And so I think for the legislature to build on those is really important. But again, there's no question that in every state, and it's just human nature, right? In human nature, it's to kind of not want to always, not have someone looking over your shoulder to second guess your decisions. But the American people have a right to do that, and certainly the people of West Virginia do. So I think there's a lot of ways we could improve transparency in the state government.
How's the campaign been for you so far? I mean, out talking to people and shaking hands and doing the whole thing. How's it been so far?
It's been fantastic. I love talking to people. I love hearing their experiences. I love hearing their concerns. I also really appreciate, right now people don't always talk to each other if they have differing political views in our country. So, I love hearing from people who say, I disagree with you on X and Y and Z issue, and I want to talk about why. And those are really meaningful conversations to me to walk through those, because you can have so much respect for another person. You can agree to disagree. You can, disagree without being disagreeable. But so it's been a wonderful experience getting to know more of my neighbors and better understanding the concerns that people have in District 53.
Where can people learn more about your campaign, Tristan?
It's LevittForWV.com.
And that's Leavitt. Is the spelling on that right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
All
Levitt and then FOR.
Okay, so all right, final 30 seconds. This is what I call my elevator speech. Final 30. Why should someone vote for Tristan Levitt? Tristan Levitt. If I can get your name right, that's my fault. Tristan Levitt. Why should people vote for you?
I'm absolutely committed to ensuring that we do the homework and do the research on the hard issues that our state faces. We've had great economic news and announcements in recent times, but what is left for the legislature to tackle are some really thorny issues, and I will put the time and the work into attacking those to get the best outcomes for the people of West Virginia.
All right, well, we'll have you on several times between now and the election next year. I apologize we had a little problem getting you on the air, but we got you. You got your message across to the people. We'll talk again soon, Tristan. Be safe out there.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Dave.
All right, thank you. Tristan Levitt, again, Republican candidate for House in District 53. We're back after this from the Parmar Store Studio, 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
Hey, it's Dave Allen for Parmar Stores. Ah, yes, summertime. From the ballparks to the pools to the backyard barbecues to vacation or just hanging out at the house, chances are you're going to run out of something. And when you do, visit your local Parmar store. From gas to groceries and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has you covered. Download the Parmar app for even more savings and sign up for the rewards card. Parmar is the official convenience store of Marshall University and the official store of the West Virginia Schools Activities Commission. Happy summer, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Chevy Summer Drive is here, and it's time to find new roads to the Thornhill Motor Mile. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to the Red, White, and Vroom celebration, and what better way to celebrate them with a Chevrolet Silverado. Get ready to experience the thrill of adventure with unbeatable deals on new Chevrolet Silverado. Save big with Georgia's Star Spangled Manager's discount up to $5,500 off, $1,500 RST package, and $7,500 off lifted custom packages. Click or come by at ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or US 119 in Chapmanville. Red, White, and Vroom. The celebration is on the road to total savings. Call 541-46 Financial. See Thornhill for all details.
If you're suffering and there's a safe, natural, easy-to-use solution to help make you feel better, wouldn't you at least want to try it? That's why millions of people use Navage Nasal Care to help relieve their symptoms of sinus congestion, allergies, snoring, and other nasal-related problems. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping flush out everything that makes you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Dee, a verified Navage user who writes, "From years of having a permanently stuffed up nose to being able to breathe is life-changing. Food tastes better, and I no longer go through boxes of tissue a day," unquote. Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
We got 3 minutes away from 10 from the Par-Mar Store Studio. 580 Live brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, the voice of Charleston, WCHS. 580 Live presented in part by Huston's Pizza. Buy any regularly priced large 18-inch pizza and get a free 2-liter of Pepsi. Find your local Huston's for delivery, pickup, or dine in at HustonsPizza.com. Tex says, this is going back to the Jerry Waters call. Tex says, I actually agree with Jerry for once. I'm not sure the law has changed. He was talking about the laws pertaining to particular advertising when it comes to beer. Tex says Republicans have let people down on Campbell's Creek after the flood with no help from the state. Signed Creekers for Change. Tex says Lance Wolf brought up Chief Hunt's indiscretions during the campaign last year, but everyone poo-pooed the thought of any wrongdoing, according to a texter. Texter says, mentioning Fast and Furious, also known as Obama and Holder's gun running, reminds us there has been no justice for Agent Brian Terry, who was killed by one of those guns. As I've been, we'll close with this, as I've been saying since the whole story developed, there is no path back for WVU basketball coach Bob Huggins to get back in the good graces of the university. The exclamation point in that place yesterday by President Gordon Gee on Talkline. You can go back and listen to the podcast or read the story at WVMetroNews.com. There's a whole lot of other non-athletic related issues going on, as you've well heard. Brad and I talked about it last week on the show with a lot of the fundings coming under, or the funding for programs coming under question with WVU. There's a lot of issues in Morgantown right now. But getting back to the sports aspect, yesterday, it was announced that Randy Mazie, the baseball coach, is going to be resigning. He's actually going to transition to another role. That has nothing to do with the Huggins situation, though. But Hoppy point blank asked yesterday, President Gee, if there's any chance that Huggins could come back to the program in any way, shape, form, or fashion. To quote our governor, and the president said, no, not going to happen. Let's go back and listen to the podcast. WVMetroNews.com if you'd like more information on that. All right, we got to go. Our phone calls to 580 Live are a service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly. Texting services are provided by Fruit Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Coming up on the show tomorrow, Millie Snyder from the Shake Shop is going to be stopping by, plus more on a big couple of days of activities going on in the city of Nitro as Joe Stevens joins us for that. Hoppy's up with the news. Enjoy your Tuesday. I will see you tomorrow. Till next time, have fun and love somebody.
CHSAM 96.5 FM Charleston and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.